Welcome, welcome, y'all, to Married at First Sight, a season 15, episode 13. This is my Married at First Sight recap, review, rant, commentary, all that are wrapped into one. Thanks for joining me here today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment to my video. And thank you for all my subscribers and people who join me here every week. And if you're not a member of my channel, please be sure to join the channel down below. We got some good things coming at the end of this video, or not at the end, actually right now, down in the description box, there is a link because we are starting a Q&A session whereby when we have dating questions or marriage questions that we want to pose to all the aunties and uncles out here, drop them down on this form where I left the link, and then we're going to review them and go over them next week, Monday or Tuesday on an off day, and we're going to answer some of these questions because when we start talking about some of these couples on Married at First Sight, I think it does make us think sometimes about our own relationships, how we moving and shaking out here. We start to see some things that we may be doing like these people and saying, "Ooh, that's foul. I got to stop doing that." I think we all learn, so we might as well keep learning from each other. So if you got any questions, any of the nieces and nephews, you got questions for the aunties and uncles, use the form in the description box, send it to me, and then we're going to answer them live on the premiere video. I'm going to answer them, and then all the aunties are going to get to chime in as well because aunties and uncles need to speak up because Morgan and Ben, they both could use an auntie and uncle to help them navigate this situation. But it's over, y'all. It is over. Decision day is here. And you know what? I'm happy. Pop the champagne, cue the music. Let's get this electric slide going, whatever it takes, because I am happy that this marriage is over and we don't have to look at this anymore. Because honestly, the same episode for this couple has been playing every single week. We have not gotten off of the lie for the BSN degree and or the mix up over her being an RN. We are still talking about it. So much so that this girl, Morgan, decided she had to show up on the screen and put a picture up of her BSN degree. She's so stuck on that, y'all. She just proved to us today how pressed she is over that issue, how that was such a big dot deal and she never got over it. Never got over it whatsoever. I'm telling you, the walls for Morgan are so thick, and she done added a new wall because let me tell you, the next guy that comes along, they're not going to have to only get through that wall with her daddy. They now going to have to get through this wall with Ben because I guarantee you, she put up another wall because of Ben and she going to use this out in the world. Like Ben told her at the end of this episode, he said to her, she need to forgive and forget for herself, not just for me, because this ain't healthy. This ain't a good mental health. And we already know she is not in a good mental health because she has probably stored up unforgiveness for a lot of people. And that's why it all came out on Ben, because the things that she was upset about did not require this level of attention that she gave it. It really did not. But anyway, she came on this episode talking about she's tired of being sad. Girl, we tired too. We tired of you. We tired of the lies. We're tired of the excuses. We're tired of the rough and tumble, Morgan, and we ready to see you go too. This is divorce we've all been waiting for. And let me tell you, for the first time, Ben told the truth. Ben finally told the real truth of why he's been hanging on to this marriage. And you know what he said, people? He said because he feels sad that he's going to be the first divorced person in his family. He feels scared. He's really kind of scared of what his parents might say. And none of this had to do anything with the love of Morgan. It didn't have anything to do with him liking Morgan, wanting to be married to Morgan. Him hanging on to this marriage was all about scared of disappointing his parents and scared of what they might say. That's a whole nother reason to be with someone. So let me tell you, it didn't come from any positive emotions that he really wanted to be with Morgan. He was willing to die in this marriage and live a life of getting nothing for himself at the expense of himself just to please his parents. He didn't love Morgan, and Morgan knew it. Even, I think who it was, Messy Alexis or someone else said, no, it wasn't Messy Alexis. It was actually Kristen, because Kristen is on the after party also. Be sure to watch my after party video. Kristen spilled the beans that she had this conversation, both Morgan and Ben, and they both admitted that this was a poor match from the beginning. And what Kristen said was, I think they both used excuses to get out of the marriage, when in fact neither one of them wanted to be in it from the beginning. And that she said that Morgan didn't like Ben from the beginning because she wanted more of an alpha male. Of course she does. Just like Alexis wants one. Women who are like Morgan and Alexis, they need a sumo wrestler, a man who chopped wood, a lumberjack. They need the man to be rough and tumble, because what they don't want to do is they don't want to soften themselves. So what they say is, I need you to be more manly than me, because I don't want to soften myself. So I need you to be more manly. So they put some pressure on them that they got to go out and find a manly man who chews tobacco and sucks on a straw and drinks moonshine liquor in order for them to feel feminine. That's what it takes. For them to feel feminine, because they're so masculine, they need a real manly man. So Kristen spilled the beans that, Morgan, she didn't really like Ben from the beginning. We know more. Ben didn't like Morgan. He was scared at her from the beginning. And Keisha Knight Pulliam clowned Morgan in the after party and said, well, who was she looking for if she wanted a manly man? A sumo wrestler? Exactly, Keisha Knight Pulliam. But anyway, you know what? I'm so happy this is over. I'm so happy I don't have to do another review on this couple. It's over. It's over. It's over, y'all. Cue the dance music. Cue the dance music. But Morgan is let off the hook. Here come Dr. Pepper rolling up in here once again, telling Ben how judgmental he was and this was that. But nothing came back on Morgan. And you know what's going to happen to Morgan? She's going to skedaddle on right out of this little exercise, thinking all the problem was with Ben, and she's not going to look at nothing for herself. Because in this whole thing, what you both should come out of it with is something you could do differently. But here is Ben once again taking full accountability, accurately saying that he wasn't ready for marriage. He wasn't ready for marriage because Ben doesn't even know who he is. He's so busy living in the shadows of his parents and who his parents want him to be. He doesn't know who he is. So he did say accurately he wasn't ready for marriage. But here's Morgan sitting over here nodding. Yep, you're not ready. And she not recognizing anything about herself. She's not ready either. But you know who's going to grow the most from this? Ben is going to grow the most from this. In fact, Ben said he might move out of San Diego, period. He said he might need to get away from his parents, his whole doggone family, in order for him to establish some level of independence and doing things for himself and not just looking at what his family does. He was talking about he's the first person not to be a doctor in his family. That's a lot of pressures too. So you're starting to find out a lot about Ben. And, I think some of it might be self-imposed. We haven't heard everything from the parents. And I'm quite sure they put pressure on him. But some of this pressure, the parents might have even withdrawn from Ben. Who knows? But I know that mother and father wouldn't like Morgan anyway. So he was staying in a marriage that I'm sure his parents wouldn't have even appreciated. So he thinks he was doing it for his parents to stay with Morgan. But I don't think they would have liked Morgan. They didn't like Morgan. When she sat up there and had all them tattoos on her arm and started talking about she wasn't sure if she wanted to have babies, they didn't like her from the wedding date. So he would have fallen on his sword and being married to Morgan, and his parents would have been like, I didn't care. We didn't like her anyway. This is ridiculous. I feel sorry for Ben, but he need to go on off and heal. He might need to leave San Diego and go find himself. He might need to go on a road trip like who was that Steve Moy did last season, go on a road trip, find himself, be a vagabond. I don't know, get in touch with themselves and not feel the pressure of trying to please a tiger fan. But tiger mom, is that what's called? A tiger mom when she lords over the kids? I don't know, y'all. But all this BS with Morgan talking about, he never did apologize to me. He never had a sincere apology. I tell you, I almost feel like coming to the screen and snatching that girl up. What does she mean he never apologized? Oh, he never apologized in public. He only did it. He never did it in private. He only did it in public. It wasn't sincere. This girl had so many criteria on this apology. What she wanted him to do? Hop on one foot, pat his head, rub his belly at the same time while he apologizes. This girl wasn't ready to accept no apology. Stasha said it right last week. It didn't matter how he said the apology. It could have come with a box of roses, chocolate, a new car, diamond rings, diamond bracelets, hopping on one foot, rubbing the belly, patting the head, turning around, doing the twist. It wouldn't have mattered. She was never going to accept the apology because she didn't want to accept the apology. Because if she accepted the apology, that meant she would have had to move on. And she was never interested in moving on, not one bit. But her problem is she doesn't see what her problem is, and she's not going to grow. She is going to stay stuck. I have more hope for Ben that he's going to go on and he's going to grow and he's going to heal from this and he's going to become a better person than I do for Morgan, because Morgan isn't even in the state of awareness and all her friends are scared to tell her the truth. That's part of the problem. They're all scared to tell her the truth because they're afraid of what Morgan would do to them, and Morgan will cut them off, and Morgan won't be their friend, and maybe they don't want to lose her friendship. But there you go. So in the end, Morgan, we can look her up maybe 5 years later, and she's gonna be in the same space. I guarantee you. When they go, where are they now? Them where are they now videos with past Married at First Sight people. Look Morgan up in another 3 to 4 years, and she's gonna be in the same space she is now. Unless she does something drastically different, she ain't going nowhere. She might as well go on down there to the club with Alexis 5 days a week because ain't nobody picking her up off the dating pool. Not at all. Not one bit. But when Morgan was sitting up there talking about that apology wasn't heartfelt and this and that and what it didn't contain, Ben, for the first time, instead of looking like he was going to cry, he looked like he was about to bust up, start laughing. Did y'all see that smirk on his face? Ben looked like he was about to bust out and laugh because he was like, this is some BS. This is some BS. I can't believe I was putting all this effort into this girl. This is some BS. He felt like he was going to laugh because he, just like me, was looking at Morgan and said, girl, you look silly. You look crazy. Do you really believe we believe this story? And this is the thing about Morgan. She tells these stories as if we all believe it. But I guess she would tell the stories because it looks like Dr. Pepper is believing it. All these experts be believing it. But when she gets to see these videos out here in comments and Instagram, she's going to realize she didn't fool as many people as she thought. She may have thought she fooled them friends, you know, her little cohorts, Alexis and all them, and she might have thought she fooled the experts. But the general public out here, we are not fooled by Morgan at all. She has become one of the least favorite wives in Married at First Sight history, and she is going to have an eye-opener once all this stuff aired versus what she was thinking back then when it was filmed. I guarantee you, she's not going to have no idea what hit her. But, you know, Ben, he's talking about how, you know, his parents were robots, taught him how to be a robot. He never could express his feelings, internalized. Well, we could see because he barely could open up his mouth to Morgan. I didn't understand it. I still don't understand it. I don't know what went on in his household where he couldn't express himself to any level of degree, but he gets tight-tongued no matter who he speaks to, whether he was talking to Morgan, an expert, whoever. He has a hard time expressing his own desires and wishes. So he might need to go get a few lessons from Mitch, because Mitch has got being selfish and self-centered down pat. Sometimes what you need to do to bring yourself from one end is hang out with someone else on the whole other end. He might need to spend a little time with Mitch because he'll never become a Mitch. He cares about people, but he might need a few lessons from Mitch on how to care for yourself, how to look at other people and say, I don't care what you think. I'm going to do me for a minute. He needs a few lessons on how to do him, cater to himself, love on himself before he starts trying to love on someone else. I hope he takes a few years off the dating market and really just works on that all by himself. But when Morgan said this marriage is unrecoverable, I was like, hallelujah, praise the Lord. And I know Ben was happy too, because Ben was like, they're like, Ben, do you want the divorce too? He was like, yeah, I think we should have the divorce. But in typical Ben fashion, he's like, yeah, because I'm not ready. You know, he's so self-deprecating. He always takes the blame for everything. But he didn't want to be married to Morgan. But if he wants to say yeah because he's not ready, which is the truth though is he's not ready and neither is she. But nonetheless, he was like, yep, I'm ready. I'm ready for this marriage just as much as Morgan is ready. And when they showed up to this pool party, they were like, Ben was like, he and Morgan aren't even on speaking terms. But he said he's just going to come here to say his goodbyes to everybody, let them know that this is their last appearance on the show. He tells everybody's all shocked. They ain't shocked. They knew what was going on because we're not even shocked. And they had way more information than we did. So they can act shocked all they want to. But they knew that this marriage wasn't going anywhere, that it was in the toilet before it even got started. But he said, you know, they wanted to say their goodbyes. And of course, Morgan got to get in one last ding. She just can't say, yeah, thank you, everybody. It's been wonderful meeting you. She got to give it one more ding saying, yeah, I don't want to be married to him. And Ben ain't the partner for me. I don't want to be partners with him. And I can't be partners with someone that I can't trust. Girl, get out of here. And when she was sitting with Dr. Pepper, and they were asking, you know, what have you learned? Morgan said that she learned that she can be open with someone she trusts. Well, how did you learn it? Because you never trusted Ben. That's another thing. She just lies. She couldn't be open with anyone. She tries to make it sound like she can't be open with anyone. The problem was with Ben. That's why she can't be open. Girl, you can't be open with anyone. And so if you never trusted Ben, so you was never open with him. So you never even proved your own theory, talking about you can be open. You haven't proven it yet because you just said you didn't trust him. So the fact that you didn't trust him means you never opened up to him. So this idea that you know how to be open to people, you haven't even proven your own theory yet. So you right back where you were before you met Ben, when you said you was closed off and couldn't trust anyone and you didn't open up easily. You still haven't proven that you can be different. So don't act as if that, it was because of Ben you couldn't do it. Nah, that's just who you are. It was who you were before you came to the marriage, and it's who you are leaving after the marriage. No progress, none at all. No enlightenment, no progress, no nothing. She said she don't want to be friends with Ben, and Ben was like, I would be friends with Morgan. No, you wouldn't, Ben. You don't even have no thing in common with Morgan. Where would you do? Well, what do you have in common that you could still stay friends with Morgan, Ben? Ben just talks. He always says just saying stuff for the nice thing, and none of it's true either. That is true. I would get irritated by that too, because, he says things that he doesn't really mean, because he's saying the things that, he thinks you might want to hear, or that is the nice thing, but it's not really his own emotion. I wouldn't trust Ben's words either, because you know what? I would look at him and be like, I don't even know if that's coming from you. Is that coming from you? Is that coming from the scared little boy who's scared of his parents? I want to know what's coming from you, your heart. And until he gets in touch with who he is, I really couldn't trust too much coming out of Ben's mouth either, because he says nice things even when he don't mean them. He says he gives compliments even when he doesn't mean it. That's why he needs to go off and heal and find himself, because in that respect, when Morgan said he's not trustworthy, that part is true. She can't trust Ben to really believe Ben liked her, because Ben never liked her. And that part Morgan did get right. Ben read her at the end. Ben read her and said, you know what? Forgiveness is not for me. Forgiveness is for herself. And Morgan thinks she ain't got a problem. And Morgan thinks she can use that same solution she used with her daddy. And that is when people don't treat you the way I just cut them off. Well, she going to be cutting people off and cutting them out of her life for a long time, because that is Morgan's go-to solution. It is not to resolve things, work things out. It's not about her changing or working with a person to change. It's about the minute someone does something that you don't like, you cut them loose. And she's performing and practicing that same method. And what Ben said is holding on to all that anger is not good for your mental health. And because he witnessed it firsthand, because what he realized was all that anger that she had towards him for so-called not believing she was an RN was more than that. That was bottled up anger from years ago and probably involved multiple people. And she took it out on him. That's why she likes doing this Muay Thai. It's almost like one of them rooms where you just smash a bunch of stuff because you got so much anger, you can't contain it and you need to let it out. That's what that Muay Thai is for Morgan, because she carries around a lot of anger and she needs a physical contact sport like that in order to get it out. And now she's talking about she wants a man that she can beat up on and he can take it. That's what she means by alpha man. She wants an alpha male that's not so sensitive, so she can spew venom from her mouth and have hate in her heart, and she can act the way she does and he could take it. He's strong enough to take it. She don't want to change. She just wants a strong man who could take it. That's what I'm saying. People don't want to change. They want you to change. They want a person who's able to take all their BS. They don't want to change and accommodate other people. They want you to do all the changing, and they don't have to do any change at all, and you got to take all their BS. That's what Morgan is looking for when she says she wants an alpha strong man. Nobody want to be her punching bag. But I'm glad it's over. A good written. If this episode or anything with Morgan and Ben caused you to have a question about marriage or dating that you want to post to the aunties, look down in the description box for the link about this video. Drop your question down there in the form from the link. And then on our premiere video, we are going to answer your questions, myself and all the other aunties that end up joining me in the premiere video. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you're alerted to when we're going to do this Q&A session, ask the aunties and the uncles. And I look forward to seeing y'all then. But don't forget to check out my other videos as well. The link should be here above my head. And I did videos on all the other couples this week as well. Talk to you later. Bye.